to The Awakening. And today, The Awakening is about questions. I woke up and I felt I have to do an awakening about questions. Questions. When you're left with questions, when there's a lack of certainty, which there is all the time now, but particularly around questions that we're left with in life. Questions that we can't answer, to do with what's going on in the world. Questions, you know, just questions. Questions, you know, we're living with just continuous uncertainty. We don't know what's coming, we don't know what's going to happen. But it's not so much about that I want to talk about today. Today I want to actually talk about the questions that you've had through your life. Question marks that we've been left with through our life. Question marks that we've been left through our life, you know, which we haven't been able to answer. Things that have happened to us with people. Maybe people that we spend life with, friends, relations, situations in our childhood. I thought that would be a good subject to do the awakening on, because I woke up thinking about that, and I woke up about how they don't get solved. And you seem to repeat this pattern, I know I do, of people coming into your life and they become part of your life, and then they change on you, and they don't really give you answers, they don't give you solutions, and you're left with this big question mark. And there's only so much of it that you could take responsibility for, because people do project an image to you. Like, let me give you an example. A relationship that went on for, say, 4 or 5 months, a really serious relationship, a romantic relationship, where you were part of it. This happened to me years and years ago before I met my husband, where you were part of it, where there were kids involved, where, you know, there was love, and you thought that this person and you were going to actually spend the rest of your life together because you lived together, and it was more or less a really serious relationship. And then one day you had a row. It wasn't even a big row. It wasn't a big row. It was quite a small argument. And the next day you get up and that person says, I don't have anything to do with you anymore. They literally kick you out of their lives. When you go back to their home to find out what happened, they put you in one room. They don't care about you at all. You're not seeing my kids anymore. It's all like you never existed. Never existed at all. Okay, so you get that really serious relationship situation, and you sit back and you try to learn what you did. Maybe you shouldn't have gone near that person, because quite honestly, I never did anything bad enough for that person to have treated me that way. And I know it because I've looked into it. I've done a huge amount of research into myself. Never. I just never shouldn't have gone near that person. My intuition told me when we first met, but I did, and I got involved. So that's one big question mark that happened 30 years ago nearly, which I never got an answer for, ever. Never got an answer for. And that person just never wanted to give me an answer, and nothing ever came back. And not for the lack of trying, even with Facebook, getting cut off from that person altogether, their children. Big question mark. And then it repeats itself. It repeats itself. I think one of the biggest question marks I had, and maybe you could look at your own here, is when did this happen for the first time? Well, I suppose one of the biggest question marks is when I was 12, and I fell madly in love with this boy. in the neighborhood. And nothing happened. You know, he was older than me. We were just friends. He taught me how to skate. And I remember giving him all my sweets, you know, from England, and thinking that he was my boyfriend. Because, you know, after what happened to me as a child, I didn't really understand relationships with boys at all, or couldn't really talk to him. But anyway, one day he sat me down and said he's going to live in America. And I was devastated, but he hadn't gone yet, but he disappeared. And I remember asking people, and it was like it never happened, because the kids in the neighborhood didn't know what I was talking about. Even now, when I talk to people in the neighborhood that I still remember, they don't know who I'm talking about. But my sister remembers him, so he existed, you know. But again, big question mark, because he just disappeared. And I didn't get to say goodbye properly. And for about 4 years, I wanted to know where he'd gone, what had happened to him. And nothing. I remember I would kind of stunted my life a lot. This big question mark, you know? And it seems to be happening again with a friend that really did a lot of work with me, confided in me, and I confided in them. We did a lot of work together. And this person puts themselves across as a teacher, a mentor, who I respected, and who I would be a go-to person, because that's how they put themselves across, as your teacher, your mentor. But I developed feelings towards this person, and I told them. And since that happened, it happened again, because I was honest to tell this person how I felt. You know, and this is the first time that I actually did that. Usually I would just accept, you know, this big question mark, because there's no way of fixing it, but this person is still in my life. So I sat them down, I told them how I felt when this happened nearly a year ago. And they ran a mile. They ran a mile and cut me off, because I said how I felt. Anyway, the situation became a bit easier after we came back and sat together and laughed about it. But they are carrying on this pattern. They're carrying on this pattern. It's very, very difficult to accept this again in my life. I don't know about you. I think it's because we're living in such uncertainty. I think it's because we don't know what's coming from one day to another. But what I'm saying to you is, do you have these situations in your life? Because the awakening is about taking you from the dark into the light. And, you know, it's very difficult, because the family I was born into also do the same. When you know, I also had this with my father. When my father got sick and he fell, I didn't know him anymore. He didn't even know me. He thought I'd come to marry him. And so there was a massive question mark around there. I could not say goodbye properly to my dad, because he didn't know who I was. So again, it wasn't completed enough, but it's completed now in the afterlife, I feel. But with dad as well, this big question mark holding around there. Who are you? Have you come to marry me? Who is your father? What's going on? And then the family who treated me with so much disrespect were euthanizing him and not talking to me properly and gently and explaining to me and helping me, but fighting me. And always this big question mark of, what am I supposed to do here? How can I deal with this? And why are people so cruel? So it seems to happen to me a lot. And I sit back and I think, I've got a person who I know who this person is, and they call me a fake mad bitch. And they keep wanting to talk to me about all the negative things, about that maybe things are not good, and that we're, you know, and that Q doesn't exist, and all this stuff why should I have to face that? So they're putting the responsibility onto me and telling me I'm fake and I'm mad but no, this time I know my boundaries and I'm not. And quite honestly, with this new person that has brought in this big question and this big uncertainty into my life, it is mostly their responsibility. And I'm sorry, because I have given and given and given to this person so much. They know. I even physically gave them stuff. And they still treat me like rubbish. And so, how do you feel about that? Is this a karmic thing? Do some people treat you really badly the more you give? Because they have no self-love. They have no love for themselves. They don't know how to love themselves and they're miserable. So the more you give, it's you're showing them that you're giving and giving and giving. And you're actually enjoying yourself. You know, I had this in the therapeutic community. I remember once in the therapeutic community, and again, if you identify with this, let me know. If you're the kind of person that when something good happens to you, you want to share it with everyone, like me. Like I've always been until they kicked it out of me. And to me, I'm not going to make myself feel guilty about that. And I'm not boasting, because I was told that I'm a bad person when I was in the therapeutic community, and I'm boasting. When I released a song called The Praises of Your Love, and I started to sell it for a women's center to buy fridges for women that had nothing. And I gave half of everything from my work, my proceeds. It's like I'm always giving, either the whole of my work, as you know, or half of it. And people came back into the community that day, and I was telling people, I sent them all love and hearts and said, wow, this is happening, and shall we celebrate, you know, because they all loved this center, and they loved these women. I said, well, you know, they're getting fridges, and I'm happy about it. And I sent them all little smiley faces to tell them that I was working with a charity, because I thought that they loved me. I thought that they cared. Like the same thing as I do with you guys or with family, to try and make them feel good, because something good is happening to me. Because when something bad is happening to me, they seem to reject me. So if something good is happening to me, they seem to reject me as well, because they did. The community rejected me, and they said I was boasting. And I was in shock, and I said, well, I just wanted to tell you something nice. And it seemed like, you know, it seemed like, well, if I'm unhappy, you don't want me. If I'm happy, you don't want me. The family that I'm born into are the same. Just completely reject me now, completely. But when I was growing up, you had to be happy or you got rejected, completely rejected, unless you were happy. So I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to do here with the awakening. I'm trying to say to people that if I give and give and give, like I do, from an open heart to certain people, and you're watching this and you know you are, then can you just maybe sit with it and try to figure out why you reject me even more? Because that's what you do. You know, I get to choose, I tend to choose bipolar people. People that switch on you, and I'm not bipolar. I think bipolar is a serious issue. I have bipolar traits in me where I can switch on people. Like I can go cold on people when I'm in fear. Like with my marriage, my relationship, I can go cold on my husband if I'm in fear about something. Like sometimes I feel like if something happened to him, I can't just have that one person in my life. It's scary. And then I go cold on him, and I examine it, and I tell him, I've gone cold on you. I'm not able to cope. I can't deal with this. And we talk about it. All right? Because I don't believe that one person in your life is the right thing. You need to have friends. You need to have lots of friends, work. I don't believe in marriage. I don't. I think that we really we're not supposed to be in that box. So to take you into the light, I'm saying to you, if you have someone in your life that is treating you that way, then look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Why are you still in that person's life? Why do you want to be in their life? And why are they still in your life? So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that a lot. What are they representing to you or not? So, you know, situations that I stay in, they help me. They help me because they're projecting the image that they are the tribe. Okay, so I try to stay in that. They're projecting an image that makes me feel happy and young, where I can be myself. So I try to stay in that. What do you do? So I want you to look at that. If you feel that you're staying in situations that are not good for you, like in certain ways, I am with friends that really, they're not friends. They're not. And I make excuses for all of them. Do you? And is that the right thing to do? Does that mean you love them? Or does that mean that you're just not protecting yourself and not being kind to yourself? I'll give you an example. Again, I want you to look at examples from your own life. How much of this is you not being kind to you and not putting a healthy boundary and saying enough is enough? And how much is this keeping an open heart and understanding that people are going through hell? How much do you put up with? Okay, why do I do programs moving on TV for free? I don't get paid a penny from anyone. Because I love it, because it's good for me, because I'm focused, because it gets me up in the morning, because it's my passion, because I'm building something, yada, yada, yada. And at some point, the money will come. Or the bartering. The bartering is already coming because I'm sponsored by, as you can see, Paul Boggy Brighton is offering you 20% off his course. But what I'm saying to you is, as I said, I have a friend who, when I was in a wheelchair, had lost my whole family. His friend never came near me, not once. And when they did come near me, he was cold, very cold and very distant, as if I was in a wheelchair. I was totally helpless, and did not come near me once, and worked around the area. So that couldn't have been me. How could that have been me? I was in a wheelchair, and this was a long life friend that I'd known for 20 years, who I would do anything for, and that person knows it. So I'm giving them an excuse again. They're not coming near me because they're going through their stuff. Is that a friend? Or is that someone that I should just say, you know what? Life is too short. That's something I feel so much love and so much compassion, because I know how much this person is going through. But friendships have got to have communication, at least texts, or else you cannot have a friendship. It's nothing. If a family cuts you off and there's no communication, it's not a relationship. And then the other friends that I have are so busy focusing on building their work, which is great, I'm happy for them, but why do I get forgotten again? Completely forgotten. And is it up to me to say to them, you know what? Goodbye. I deserve better than this. But if I say that, then I'm saying to them probably what everyone ever said to them. Because I know people say the same to me about these people, that they're false and fake, because they're not really there for you as friends when you need them. You know, as I said, these are people that are supposedly in the tribe doing the work, mentors, teachers. Buddha never forgot his disciples. If we take Buddha or Jesus, he was the kindest, the most loving towards his disciples. They were always there for the students. These people are not there for their students. And yes, they're wise and they're good mentors. Now, if I'm a teacher and you need me, I am there for you, always. You know that. I always tell you, and I always will be. Even if I'm going through hell, I try to come out of it and do an awakening for you. These people are my friends. I love them. I care about them, but they're hurting me. They're hurting others. And that really is sad, because we're going through hell. There is an enemy that hates us, that doesn't want us anymore. And when there's an enemy, if you're at war, you usually bond. You bond with your tribe. You know, that's my experience of wars. You go to an air raid shelter and you bond. And I'm inviting you to the allotment, all of you. I'm having talks to wonderful people from all over the world. We're bonding, but those that you kind of gave your heart to, and you felt that theirs was with you, they're closed when it comes to a war situation. What's wrong with them? So that's my question. Questions today. Okay, the awakening today is about you sitting with these questions and me meditating on these questions. Again, questions. And if you love yourself enough, does that mean you cut these people out? Or does it mean that that's more selfish, narcissistic love? It's about finding balance, because in the community, they bullied me so much that if I was happy, I got bullied. If I was unhappy, I got bullied. Tough love, which brought me to my knees and made me feel my pain of my childhood and helped me heal completely. So is that the answer? I don't think so, because we are where we go one, we go all now, aren't we? And as I said to you, I am challenging Buddha on this attachment thing. Yes, I'm not saying that you need to be attached to people and you can't breathe without people, or you need to have your own time. It's good to meditate. It's good to have retreats on your own and spend quality time on your own, get to know yourself, yada. But we also have to be together. Where we go one, we go all. That's what it's called. It's not where I go I on my own. Where I go one, I go on my own. It's where we go one, we go all. We bond together, the good people of the world, the people that want to save the children, the innocents, the people that want a better life. And I know these people deserve better lives. We all deserve better lives. But why do they reject me? Are they rejecting you, your friends? I'm not talking about your friends. I'm talking about friends that are awake. Or are they? Are they projecting an image to you when you're with them that seems like they're awake? Are they full of fear? And then they can't cope at all, and so they just shut themselves off again. Because as I said to you, those people that can be around someone like me, who pushes and pushes and pushes buttons, not just Baba Bertha, who pushes and tags and tags and tags. I'm talking about me, Laurene, who pushes and pushes you to face everything. Could it be that those people that can't be around me, because when they look at me, they see something about themselves they can't deal with, because we're all mirrors and teachers. And as I say, people tried to get rid of me out of the therapeutic community because I was different. Because I wanted feta instead of brie. No, not brie, yellow cheese, because that's all they had, yellow cheese. I'm trying to find the book. It'd be amazing. Where is it? Doesn't matter. You can read my story, and it's simply amazing. I'll find it later. But what I'm saying to you is, yeah, the therapeutic community was a big lesson for me, because they tried to kick me out because I was an indigo and I was different. And the minute I blended, those that tried to kick me out disappeared. So it showed me that it wasn't all me. They used to follow me around. If I read a book about Reiki, they'd report me. It was like, I'm not making this up. You could talk to people that were in the community with me. Everyone projected themselves onto me. I was the scapegoat, and I'm no one's scapegoat anymore. So if you're watching this, and I will send it to you, what's going on? And if you're too busy and you don't have time for a friend, the way things are, you know, in a war, then you're not a friend, because this is this war. You're not a friend. If you don't have time to contact a friend, then you're not, and you don't come to visit, or if you don't take time out for yourself to get away from your work, then you're not what you're projecting. You're definitely not what you're projecting. You're not on any higher level vibration than I am or anyone else. So stop telling people you are, because you're not. You're not. And you know, I'm not the fake mad bitch. I'm totally honest. Every single elephant has been highlighted. And we took let's see, we've got a few cards today that fell out, so I shall read them to you. The first one's Sri Baba, and it's blessed is he who has become one with me, and it's upside down, and it's about your higher power. Blessed, it means that whoever's watching this with me, blessed is he who has become one with me, is when in not doing the where we go on, we go all enough, and also with themselves and with their higher power. You're not blending with your higher power enough. Okay, and 3 cards here, and this is solutions only. It means we're not looking at the solutions. As I said, it was all about questions and problems. What are the solutions? But today I'm leaving you with the questions. And it says I'm in solution zone, but I'm not. I'm in question zone. And so someone said to me, a wise woman who again doesn't always live and doesn't live by what she says, because she doesn't invite people around and puts things in their face and doesn't help them find solutions. And people say that to you, oh, I'm going out with friends all the time. What's wrong with you? And you want to hit them. Why don't you invite me around, mate? Whatever. I don't need these people. I don't need anyone. I'm learning to get very strong with you guys. You guys are my tribe. I don't need anyone, but what I'm saying is, it'd just be nice to see some gratitude coming from people, especially when you give them so much, to help them on their way, to help them grow in so many different ways. And it's sad. It's sad when they can't acknowledge it, or they can't show you that they have any gratitude in them, because it means that they've lost their hearts. So remember that. Ha ha ha, ho ho ho, laughter. I'm thinking of doing some laughter today on Facebook, maybe some laughter therapy I haven't done for a while. And upside down, be your unique self. So you need to be your unique self today, some of you, if you're not. I love you lots. If you feel like me and you have these big questions about those of you, your tribe that are not bonding with you or pushing away. I'm not talking about family that are not awake. I'm talking about people that you felt were your tribe, people that projected this image that you have got somewhere, that you are connected, that there's a space to go to. You're welcome to come to the allotment. Just ping me a text. Come and visit. Come and help me grow the plants. Come and sit with us in the shed, in Baba Bertha's smelly old shed. I love you guys. All I'm capable of doing is loving every single one of you. Every single one of you, particularly those of you that are hurt. I have so much love to give. And as I said, that sometimes is a problem for me, because I don't have enough love to give it to, because I don't have kids, I don't have a family. I don't have that physical thing that you guys have, a lot of you. So I'm here for you. I love you. And I want you to sit with the questions today, write about those questions, think about those questions, a bit like a step 4 in the 12 steps is these people that are hurting you or that you feel hurt by. Why did you bring them into your life? Because you felt that they were your tribe, right? So how are you going to negotiate the rest of this awakening with the way they're treating you? Are you going to say goodbye to them and walk away? You're going to be patient and let them come towards you? Because it hurts, of course it hurts, but I'm going to leave you with those questions. I love you lots. Call me, stay in touch. I have wonderful conversations with you. And I can't wait to meet you all. It's like, you know, do a tour around the country when all this is finished and meet all of you. Oh my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Should we do that? Should we just meet? Should we just create, I don't know, start to meet up? Because there's millions.